Mr. Austin, good morning.
Good morning, Tony.
Thank you for being with us. I'm super excited about your book. What we know is, you can have a great song, but without marketing promotions, no one is going to hear it. That's why this book is so important. It really helped me to understand how music marketing and promotions actually works. Reading about some of the tactics and techniques you use to skyrocket the careers of some of the biggest artists in the world was very eye-opening. It gave me a really in-depth look at how big labels actually build superstars. I want to start at the beginning. Your story is amazing. It's amazing. And, some of the people that you've worked with, Quincy Jones, I'll Be Sure, Bob Marley, Prince, Miles Davis, Madonna, Tevin Campbell, James Ingram, Rod Stewart, George Clinton, Biz Markie, Big Daddy Kane, Jennifer Holliday, Jasmine Guy, and the list just goes on and on and on. You've had an amazing career, and I want to learn all about it. So I want to start at the beginning. You were born in Atlanta. I mean, you're actually a Grady baby. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, I'm a Grady baby, born here in Atlanta, Georgia. However, growing up, we lived in what was considered to be the country.
Okay.
The country being Palmetto, Fairburn, Union City, Fayetteville. Those areas was considered to be the country back then, but now they're all part of the suburbs.
Okay.
I can get to Marietta just as quick as I can get to Palmetto. So those areas are considered to be the suburbs. So born here in Atlanta, but living in those areas growing up, yes.
Right, and one of the things that if people listening around the country and perhaps around the world, being a Grady baby in Atlanta is a big deal.
It is
That's
a real
a
big
big
deal.
deal because there are so many people from other cities and from other parts of the country that have come to Atlanta. Finding somebody who's genuinely from the city, a native Atlantan, born at Grady. And Grady, for people who don't know, is a hospital that serves the majority of the state, actually. And it's a very important place for a lot of people, whether you're rich or poor. So Grady is being born at Grady. That's your staple in the city.
Yeah, that's considered to be a pretty big deal.
Yes, it's a huge deal now that Atlanta has grown so much.
Absolutely.
So in the book, one of the things that caught my attention about your early life growing up, you actually had a job at 6 years old. Can you tell us about that?
Yes, we were living in Palmetto, Georgia at the time. I was walking downtown Palmetto. Palmetto's only 2 red lights, maybe 3 now. But walking downtown Palmetto, a white gentleman approached me. He said, "Hey, I'm looking for a paper boy. Would you like to be my paper boy?" I said, "Well, I don't know. You need to come by my house and talk to my mom. If my mom says okay, then yeah, I'll be your paper boy. How much does it pay?" He said $1 a day. So that was a lot of money for a 6-year-old kid, at the time. But long story short, I integrated the white water fountain in Palmetto, Georgia. At the service station across the street from the train depot, I had to keep those paper machines filled up as well. They had a white water fountain in the front, and a white laundromat in the front, and a black water fountain in the back, and a black laundromat in the back. Of course, I knew what the difference was because we had to wash our clothes there too. We didn't have no wash and dryer back then. So, but I kind of hung out at the gas station, filling up the paper machines. And I looked over at the white water fountain and I said, I'm going to get me some of that white water one day. So one day after, I'm the paper boy, been there for, a couple of months. The owner of the station knew me, Mr. Bradley. They're very prominent people in Palmetto still today. I delivered the paper to his house and all of his relatives. So they kind of knew me. So one day I said, okay, I guess today's the day. I went over there, turned the white water fountain on, started slurping and drinking that water. And man, white people pulling into the service station, bop, 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 bop. Boy, they was honking the horns and everything. The white mechanic ran out of the service bay. Mr. Bradley, do you see what Teddy's doing? He's drinking out the white water fountain. Mr. Bradley was pumping gas in another car. He looked over there and said, turned his head, So I knew somebody was going to do it one day.
Exactly.
Might as well be Teddy. But the next day at school, oh my God, they're like, did you hear what Teddy did? What did he do? What did he do? He drank out the white water fountain. What did Mr. Bradley do? Mr. Bradley, they said, hey, Teddy drank out the white water fountain. So that was kind of like, I didn't know the significance of it till years later.
Okay.
But the next day, the teachers was talking. The parents was talking. The students was talking. Did you hear what Teddy did? He drank out the white water fountain. And I'm walking around the school. I'm a hero then. I'm 7 years old. 7 years old, I'm a hero. But didn't know it. I didn't know the significance of it till maybe 10 years later.
I see.
After becoming a teenager, and but I still go to Palmetto from time to time, and it brings back great memories. So that was my first job at 6 years old as the first paper boy of Palmetto, Georgia.
Wow, that is an amazing story. That is amazing, and it's such a when I go outside now, everybody's so integrated. It's like that period of time is almost as if it's never happened. Like that level of segregation.
Well, it was around 1961, 62. I'm 7 years old at the time.
Okay.
But back then, man, it was so much segregation. And
Wow. Even in Atlanta.
yeah, you can imagine in the smaller towns it was worse.
Right.
So I didn't have no idea what that meant until years down the road. But yeah, I integrated the white water fountain and the white laundromat at Bradley Service Station in Palmetto, Georgia. So, so that was my first job, paperboy.
Right. And what's important about that is, being 6 and 7 years old, having a job, and learning how to be responsible. That's tremendous. The
other thing about it is, Tony, is that I had to get up at 5:30, 6 in the morning. My parents and brothers and sisters were still in the bed.
Wow.
And I would walk to the train depot by myself. You know what? I didn't even need an alarm clock to wake me up. We didn't have no alarm clock.
Really?
It just went. The time just went off in my head. I got up, got dressed, went to the train depot. We delivered the papers. Took about an hour and a half. Plus, I had to get back home in order to get ready for school.
Wow. That is something else for a person that young. Cheesy weezy. And I was raised by my grandma, and she was a pretty strict lady. And, she taught us some early lessons, but not like yours. Not like yours. So now, reading the book. So you're writing the book that you had both your parents, but your father was an abusive alcoholic. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. In fact, my father was an alcoholic, and he was abusive to my mom. So at some point, maybe when I'm around 10 years old, my mom decided to move us from Palmetto back to Atlanta. And that was a brand new start for us. Later in my dad's older, as he got older and older, he apologized, repented, and we, we always stayed in contact. But that was yes, he was definitely in the stages of his life where he kind of would lose control sometime.
Okay.
Meet Rapper, hungry for stardom but trapped in his local area. The record label insists on local fame before a deal. Yet, the missing element is clear: marketing. Unlock the secret by clicking the link below for our newest marketing ebook. It's the ultimate game changer. With the ebook in hand, Rapper conquers hurdles. Witness his ascension. Be the buzz. Click, download, and join the journey to conquer the stage. Your music, your story, your rise. Start it all now.
Now, I understand that you ended up quitting school somewhere around 13. Is that
Yes,
right?
that's correct. Because, so my mom had moved us to Atlanta.
Okay.
Okay, so at that time, my brothers and sisters, my older sister, Frances.
Okay.
Well, let me just kind of back up for a second.
Okay.
Then we'll get to that. My dad married my mom when she was 14 years old.
Okay.
My dad's first wife died. Never really knew why she died or what happened.
Okay.
And he had 4 kids. I'm sorry, he had 3 kids: Junior, Myra, and Bobby. So when his first wife died, he came to my mom. He came to my grandfather and said, my grandfather, his nickname was Horse. He was a big guy. Horse, I need a wife. He said, my granddad said, my mom had a sister and a brother. There was only 3 of them. He said, Horse, I need a wife. And my dad said, okay, well, you can have Louise. That was my mom's sister. He said, I don't want Louise. I want Carol. That was my mom. He said, why you want Carol? She looks better. And my granddad said, okay. She's 14. My dad already had 3 kids. My mom was only 10 years older than the oldest one. The oldest one was 4 years old. My mom married at 14. So yes, that was the beginning of their marriage and relationship. So yes, fast forward back. Oh yes, we moved to Atlanta. I'm around 13 years old. I'm in middle school.
Okay.
Grove Park Middle School.
Grove Park, all right.
Yeah, Grove Park Middle School. So graduated from middle school, from Grove Park Middle School to West Fulton High School.
Okay, you went to West Fulton.
Right across the street. So at the time, my mom moved us to Atlanta. She's struggling. My older sister, Frances, she already has a job and has her own apartment. My brother Larry, he joined the Marines.
Okay.
My sister Ann, she went to the Job Corps in Seattle, Washington. My other sister, Marie, she married Frank while they were working at the car wash. They met at the car wash. So that left me home with my mom, my baby sister, and baby brother. Everybody else was leaving home like 40 going north.
Okay.
They wanted to start their own lives and everything. So my mom is struggling every day, paying her. Now she's a single parent, paying rent, utilities, buying food, and on and on. I'm like, wow. Okay, so I'm graduating from middle school to West Fulton High School. I get to West Fulton High School, and I couldn't focus. I couldn't concentrate on homework or schoolwork. So And I couldn't stand to see my mom coming home every day, tired, cooking dinner, trying to get some rest, get ready. And plus, she had to catch the bus back and forth to work. She didn't have a car.
Yeah.
So I said, I need to help my mom. I can do more for my mom than I can with education right now at West Fulton High School. So I got a job. My mom was only making $35 a week.
Okay.
You know, that's for rent, utilities, food. My first job, I was making $35 a week. So, in fact, my first job was at a steak restaurant downtown Atlanta on Forsyth Street. It was called Saddle and Stirrup Steak Restaurant.
Okay.
So I started there. They started me out with $35 a week as a dishwasher. A month later, I'm promoted to the busboy. Now I'm making $45 a week. I'm 13. I'm making more than my mom.
Wow.
So all I wanted to do was get home every Friday, give my mom $25. All I wanted was $10.
Okay.
And that $10, all I wanted was just that I would go to the wrestling match every Friday night at the City Auditorium. I was a big wrestling fan at the time.
We have that in common. I was a huge wrestling fan as well.
Yeah.
I used to go down to the Omni
Yeah.
and see Dusty Rhodes and all those people in that.
Man.
Have cage matches. It was exciting to me at that time.
Yeah. So all I wanted was $10. That $10 would buy me a program for the night. 2 hot dogs with sauerkraut, popcorn, large drink, big box of popcorn, and bus fare back home, and I still had $1 left. So that was my way of helping out my mom, and I've been working ever since.
Wow, that is an amazing story. That is amazing. Now, and so you dropped out of school at 13. You started working, and I'm sure that whole process was building your work ethic.
Yes, it was.
And kind of getting you prepared for what was about to happen.
Yes.
So the book, in the book you talk about getting a job at something called the Old Hickory House. And is this how you actually got into the music business?
Yes. In fact, my mentor was working at Old Hickory House at the time.
He was working first.
In
Okay.
fact, Old Hickory House was a barbecue chain, a chain of restaurants. I worked at one not too far from here. The first one I started working at was on Northside Drive. But they also had Old Hickory House on Fall Road in Buckhead, Memorial Drive, Cobb Parkway in Marietta, Chattanooga, Tennessee. So it was a chain of barbecue restaurants, Old Hickory House. 2 brothers owned it, Jack and Johnny Black. So I'm working at the Old Hickory House there. I'm a busboy, dishwasher, cook, later on cook, pitman. But my friend Charles Gear worked at the Old Hickory House. Charles always had his hand in the music business, in the music industry. Charles and Gladys Knight lived in the same neighborhood. Charles was instrumental in Gladys Knight recording her first single, Every Beat of My Heart.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So he's working at the Old Hickory House. He's a curb boy. They call him curb boy, but that's when you could drive up to the restaurant under the awning, and a guy would come out and take your order, go inside and get it, and you could eat in your car.
Okay.
So he did curb service. And again, he always had his hands in the music industry. So Atlantic Records came to him. They knew his reputation. And Atlantic Records was expanding their regional, they need a regional representative for the Southeast. The regional's promotion person for the Southeast was responsible for Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, and parts of Florida. So Charles got the job working at Atlantic Records. Atlantic Records was part of a corporation called WEA, W-E-A, Warner, Elektra, and Atlantic Records.
Okay.
So WEA, Warner, Electric, Atlantic had a distribution center out on Fulton Industrial Boulevard. And he got the job there working for Atlantic Records and working out of the distribution center. So we always stayed in touch, and I said, Charles, man, I need to get out of this barbecue restaurant. I've seen so much barbecue.
Now, I love barbecue. I love barbecue, but okay.
The only barbecue I want to see is on my plate. I need to get out of here. So he got me a job working in the distribution center warehouse. In the warehouse, man, I mean, it was thousands and thousands and thousands of albums, cassettes, 8 tracks before cassettes.
Okay.
And because we were distributing all the music for Warner Brothers, all the music for Elektra, and all the music for Atlantic Records. So I'm working in the warehouse. I worked in the warehouse for 2 years. After 2 years, there was a position opening in the mailroom. So I was promoted to the supervisor of the mailroom. And in the mailroom is a very important position because not only are you responsible for distributing all the incoming mail and outgoing mail, but you're also responsible for making sure that all the music that came in was mailed out to every radio station. And not just every radio station, every format of each radio station. So if you got country and western music, you got to go make sure that all the country and western stations got that music in a timely manner. If it was jazz, the same thing. If it was rock, you got to make sure that all the rock stations get the music on a timely basis. Black music, R&B, same thing. Before I became the supervisor of the mailroom, they were just mailing out records.
Okay.
Rock station getting black music, black station getting country and western music, country and western station getting alternative music. So once I became the supervisor of the mailroom, I had everything formatted. So the radio station was calling Warner Brothers and said, thank you, we're finally getting the music for our format. Not only are we getting the music for our format, but it's properly packaged. Because back then we were dealing with a lot of albums. And if the music wasn't packaged properly, once the radio station got the album, they were warped. So they couldn't play them anyway. So they was just happy to get the music for their format properly packaged. So they was calling Warner Brothers. Who do you have in the mailroom? We're finally getting the music for our format. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's about time. So that's how Warner Brothers started hearing good things about me.
Okay.
Meet rapper, hungry for stardom but trapped in his local area. The record label insists on local fame before a deal. Yet the missing element is clear: marketing. Unlock the secret by clicking the link below for our newest marketing ebook. It's the ultimate game changer. With the ebook in hand, rapper conquers hurdles. Witness his ascension. Be the buzz. Click, download, and join the journey to conquer the stage. Your music, your story, your rise. Start it all now.